Everyone last video was fighting in the comments about whether or not the Mosque of Cordoba was originally the Church of San Vicente or not. So I kind of wanted to clear this up just by laying out historical facts and what all the sources say in relation to the architectural evidence that we have. The idea comes from later Islamic sources, especially authors like Ibn Adari and Ibn Makari, writing centuries after the events. They tell us that when Muslims conquered Cordoba, they destroyed all the churches except for one, which Christians and Muslims supposedly shared. Eventually, according to the story, ʿAbd al-Raḥmān I bought out the Christian portion and built the mosque. In the 1930s, an architect named Felix Hernandez led extensive excavations beneath the mosque. He didn't find any clear evidence of a Christian church. There were no altars, no oriented tombs, and no liturgical layout that could be tied to a basilica. What was found were Roman mosaics, reused materials, and traces of domestic buildings, nothing that proves a church was ever there. Some have tried to reinterpret the parts of the site as an episcopal complex, but the evidence remains inconclusive. The only mention of a church on the site during the early Islamic period comes from a literary source called the Ajbar Memua, which says that in 748, during a conflict between Yemeni and Mudari Arab factions, which are different types of Arab tribes, one came from the north and one came from the south, generally speaking, several Yemenis were executed in a church located where the mosque later expanded. Not the original one. This suggests that a Christian church was still in use at the time, but not one shared with Muslims. So if a church did exist there, it may have been expropriated sometime after 748, not immediately after the conquest. And while some literary texts claim that the mosque's later expansions absorbed other churches, there's also no archaeological evidence for that either. The expansions seem to have taken over homes and urban structures, not sacred buildings. So why does the San Vicente story persist? Because in modern times, it serves competing narratives. In 2005, the Museo de San Vicente was inaugurated inside of the mosque, and you can still see this today. I just visited it last year, and here are some of the photos that I took. This happened amidst the context of a debate about whether Muslims should be allowed to pray inside the space again. Framing the building as originally Christian helped the cathedral's argument to maintain control, just to allow Christians to exclusively pray there. Muslims who wanted to pray there also liked the narrative, though, because they trusted the sources that said Christians and Muslims divided the shared church for prayer upon conquest, therefore saying that we should do this again. So in the end, the story of the Church of San Vicente isn't supported by archaeology. It's a powerful legend that is based more in politics and memory than any sort of archaeological historical evidence that we have today. So thanks for watching.